Okay, hi there again. Welcome back to another episode of the Peanut Butter Republic, as it rains on my little compound down there. So in the previous episode, I gave you guys a tour of Spawn, or Young Thug City, as it's called. And then I built my love garden over here. So because I'm recording this so soon after uploading that episode, I don't have any comments or any names slash whatever, to put in the garden. However, I did, and I'll go ahead and walk over that way and show you real quick. I made a couple of improvements to it. I actually recorded this intro earlier, like way earlier today. But for some reason, and I've never had this issue before with OBS, but it like recorded my mic audio twice, like it duplicated it, and it sounded really bad, so I am currently redoing this intro. And I did actually include me upgrading the farm a little, or not the farm, but the garden a little bit. I think it's fine though. I didn't really do like anything too crazy. I basically added a little cobblestone outline, put those in flower pots, moved the flowers around. I put this path, put some cobblestone underneath that. That's the full extent of the changes I made. You know, nothing too crazy. So yeah, I don't have any names to add to this. Actually, because that was at the end of the video, a lot of people might not end up seeing that portion. So I'm going to leave this here in this intro here. If you want your name added to the love garden here, just comment. Give me a comment asking to be put in. Either put your name, ask if you want your username, your YouTube username, your Minecraft username, whatever name you want to put down, and I'll do it. And then if you have like a little short quote, try to keep it at least like one sentence. I'll put that down for you as well. And just some ground rules. Try to keep it not like super vulgar. I know there was some vulgarities at Spawn. I'm not like super against it. I just I do have a feeling that some of my family's gonna probably end up watching this footage, and I don't want this to be like full of, swear words and whatnot. So I mean, I'm sure every now and then one or two is fine. I am an adult now, so it's not like a huge deal or whatever, but yeah, just keep them short. Try not to make them too like obscene or vulgar. And yeah, you can be included in a video here in the intro, because I think I'm going to try to do this at the start of every intro. Unless, of course, if I don't have any new messages to put, in which case I'll just kind of come over here and look around and talk, and then talk about the project I'm going to be doing, and then move on to the project. Which, speaking of, I know in yesterday's episode, so episode 3, I said I was going to be building a dive bar in this episode, but so first of all, I haven't fully figured out what I'm going to be doing with that yet, the design of it. I have to still look at some reference photos. But secondly, I think I'm going to end up needing a lot of concrete and a lot of glass, which means I need sand, which means I need gravel. So what I'm going to be doing in today's video, and I actually did mention this in yesterday's video that I was going to be building one of these, and my idea was to just do both in one video. But turns out that this project was a lot bigger, took a lot more time to do. I'm going to be making a sand duper in this video, or rather a gravity block duplicator. So I also recorded all of that already too, and my audio was duplicated. So I'm going to be doing my best to kind of salvage the footage that I can of me building it, time-lapse footage and stuff, and then just kind of talk over it. But there was some segments where I like went mining for some materials and stuff, which I mean, it's not the biggest loss in the world. I can always just do that in another episode. But so yeah, this video might end up being not as long as I thought it would be, which I guess is kind of good, because I kind of not a huge fan of the videos being over an hour long. But I mean, if you guys are cool with that, just let me know. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this intro segment. So I'm now going to jump forward to when I have all the materials to make the sand duper, and then I will include the footage of me actually like putting it together. So I will see you guys wherever that is. Okay, so now that I have all of the materials I need here, and real quick, Just want to mention, I was able to salvage a majority of this footage, and I did that by just removing the voiceover, so I'm now re-recording a lot of this voiceover. But yeah, I have all the materials, so I'm going to go ahead and run through the nether, and then I'll be at the end portal / like stronghold room. It's kind of a long walk, as you can see here. I'll speed up that footage, obviously. I had to do this trip like 30 times back and forth, because I am an idiot and kept forgetting things at my house. Like blocks and things like that I needed to bring with me to work on the actual project. So this project took a lot longer than it should have. Just having to go back and forth constantly. So anyways, first thing I did is I came into the stronghold room and I cleared the room of all of the like the natural structures, so like the staircase leading up to it, and get a glimpse of it here. But there were a lot of silverfish in this room, and I know I haven't been in a stronghold in Minecraft in forever, so I kind of, for like a split second, I was like surprised. I was like, oh, what the heck? There's silverfish in these blocks. And then I remembered, oh yeah, the stronghold is full of infested stone that harbors hidden silverfish. So yeah, for like the first little bit of this, I had to deal with quite a bit of silverfish. So the first thing I did is I got rid of all that natural structure, like I said, and then I started to map out how much room I was going to need. I ended up actually having a little bit extra room. So you can kind of see me here counting. I went 4 blocks on every side. I think I definitely did. Actually, I did 8 blocks on every side because I tried to do the same as like the entrance there, which was way too much. The room ended up being way bigger than it needed to be. But I mean, it's fine in the end. It made it easier, I guess, not having to deal with as much blocks in the way, because, you know, I just had plenty of room to work with, and I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, I believe at some point I speed up this footage as well here too. I don't think I make you sit through this entire process, because this process took forever too. I definitely think I need to invest into, well, I already plan on killing the wither at some point, but a haste beacon setup anytime I do projects like this, I think would help a lot with cutting down some of the time. You know, I wish there was a way to get like a haste potion. It's kind of annoying that it's like locked behind the beacons. But yeah, like I said, not like I said, but I do intend on making an episode of me fighting the wither. I'll probably do that before I fight the Ender Dragon, which I mentioned in last episode that I wanted to do that in episode 10. So maybe like episode 9 or episode 8 could be me fighting the wither, kind of like a prelude to that. I think that'd be kind of cool. At some point I want to try to get some people involved in this series, like actually like, you know, show up in like an episode, but I don't know if I've really mentioned it before, but this realm is not super active. It was active for a long time, but, you know, people have lives, they have jobs, they have, you know, sometimes they move, lose their setup, or yeah, there's just a bunch of other stories of why not as many people play on this anymore. I'm hoping that me doing this series will kind of make people want to play on this server more, like the people who already did play on it at one point. Just because it kind of just shows you, hey, look, there's so much more to do, you know what I mean? But like I said before, I understand, like, Minecraft burnout, like, oh, you killed the dragon, you've got an elytra, you have a house built, you have all this stuff, what else is there really? And it's just, I don't know, it definitely gets to a point where you're at some point you're just like, I wouldn't say it gets boring. I mean, yeah, you know, I'll admit it does get a little bit boring sometimes, but I think recording really helps a lot with that for me personally. I mean, that's not to say that I started building all this stuff when I started recording, because I was already working on projects before I even started recording. I mean, you could see in that intro, I already so much stuff built. I think a big thing for me that got me back into Minecraft, like fully, oh, and then here's me now destroying the end portal frames. I tried to include the footage slowed down to be blowing up the first one, but I couldn't find that footage because there was just so much footage. So here's the third one just to show you how it looks. Yeah, not like I said because I haven't said this yet, but I will be including the links to both tutorials on how to build the duper as well as the how to remove the end portal frames in the tutorial in the description of this video. So yeah, back to what I was saying. What got me back into Minecraft is I've just been watching a lot of like Minecraft content on YouTube, and some old, some new. I've been rewatching Stampy's Lovely World, like the original series, from like episode 1, which I don't know if you knew this. There are like over 300 episodes, so it's taking me forever to get through them all, but the early episodes are so different than what what it became later. Because I know at some point it became like an actual like story with like, you know, a villain and stuff. But in the early phases, it was just like a Let's Play series of him trying to like figure out how to play Minecraft because he'd never played it before. Yeah, that was a big inspiration of why I wanted to start this series. Just because I know I said it like a billion times in the first couple episodes, but I've always wanted to do a Minecraft Let's Play, so it's definitely really cool doing one now. You can kind of see here, I struggled with getting rid of the end portal frames. This took me like 4 hours to do. I don't know if I just wasn't doing the glitch right, or I mean, I probably wasn't, but or it's just you kind of just got to keep trying. Maybe, I don't know. But in the end, it worked. I was able to remove the entire end portal frame. I know at some point, after doing it for so long, I was like tired of it, and I was considering just using commands to do it, like the /replace command. And I even tried to, but it didn't work, and I was like, okay, that's a sign that I clearly just need to like do this the manual way. Which, I mean, I guess either way, it's technically cheating, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered that much if I didn't. Regardless, I'm kind of glad I ended up not using cheats in the end to do it, just because I don't want to do that in this series, because I easily could, and there's a lot of times where I could, but it feels better to just do everything like vanilla. But yeah, so you have to clear out the portal room, and then you have to get rid of the end portal frame, and then here's me doing that thing I mentioned where I can't, oh, and also it has to do with like changing your keybinds and stuff, but I do that thing I mentioned a lot where I like empty out my inventory because for some reason I just like can't think when I have a full cluttered inventory. I don't know if that's just an ADHD thing or whatever, I don't know. But as soon as my inventory's cleared, it's always way easier for me to like actually like think. But yeah, you can kind of see this end portal frame there. The eye is actually missing, and that's from me trying to do the commands. Well, you could see for like a split second, but the eye was missing, and this because I tried to do the commands. I don't know if I've said this, but I really like the look of the texture that this pack gives the end portal frames. I think it looks really cool. So now that the end portal frames are all gone, I get to actually build the duper itself at this point. It's, man, this project took me forever to do. But the duper itself was actually pretty easy to put together. I think the hardest part was the storage, like the sorting system, but I'll show you that at the end. So yeah, let's just get into building the duper. So yeah, you kind of start out with, I didn't include the footage of me actually putting it together, but you start off with this like scaffolding design at the bottom. And then I'm not fully even sure how this works. I'm not really a redstone expert. Oh yeah, it's just the first time I accidentally go into the end a lot while making the duper. I think I tried to cut out most of that footage, but I think I might have left a couple scenes in there. Me falling into the portal. Okay, maybe I didn't cut out any of them. It's fine. It's so sped up, it doesn't even matter. It's like 3 seconds of me being in the end anyways. Yeah, the duper was pretty simple to put together. Thankfully, I was kind of worried after it took so long to do the end portal frame. I was like, God, is it going to take me another 4 hours to build the duper? And thankfully, it actually didn't. It only took me about like an hour and a half, maybe. Yeah, I know it has. So these redstone circuits are what trigger the pistons to go on and off over and over again, and that's actually what dupes the sand because of how fast it's moving. I think the redstone is being carried through all the pistons through the scaffolding, but I'm not sure how it's doing that. Like, I don't know how it does it. Yeah, that's literally the duper complete. In fact, at this point, I just needed to make some chunk loaders, which if you don't know what those are, basically it's like a mechanic where it keeps the chunks always loaded so that the stuff happening in them always happens, and it doesn't only happen when there's a player in them. And you do that with just like a pearl stasis chamber. But you have to do one in every chunk. So that's why I'm checking the chunk borders here. And as you can see, I fell down into a cave while trying to make one of these stasis chambers. I actually built these in my super smelter farm recently as well, which actually made it way more efficient because now it's constantly growing kelp and it's constantly growing bamboo instead of only doing it when I'm in the actual chunk. So it's actually much more efficient now, which is very nice. I'll have to show that off in another video at some point. But yeah, the stasis chambers, they're not even that hard to make. It's not really even you just need kelp, soul sand, water, and then just to dig down a couple blocks. Yeah, that is the actual duper complete. You can kind of see me mess around and do it a couple times just to make sure. I was really worried in the process that I was gonna like mess up the redstone or like do it wrong at some point, and I just kept trying just to make sure. Yeah, it's super efficient. Okay, so now that the actual duper itself has been completed, the next step is to build like an item collection machine in the actual end to like, scoop up all those blocks so that they're not just sitting on the floor in there and taking up a lot of, space and whatnot. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that now. I do have everything I need for that, excluding these couple things here. These are just, I had to grab some chests from here, so I just broke some chests from the stronghold. But yeah, as you can see, I obviously will probably need more than just 3 chests. This is just temporary. I'll probably go and grab some later. I've had to do a lot of running back and forth on this project, and I'm getting a little bit tired of it. So now all I have left to do is to jump into the end and build the collection system. So yeah, I will obviously speed that portion up as well. So we'll just get right to it then. Okay, so I accidentally forgot to hit the record button at this point, but I haven't done it too much, thankfully. All I've done so far is just mine out like a little area down here for the actual like collection system to be built in. I haven't actually started building it, thankfully. That would have sucked if I forgot to include the footage, but we're all good. So at this point now will be the building montage. Yeah, this one, honestly, this like system was really simple, and I will say this much: the tutorial I used was really good. It was very informative. It was very like easy to follow, I guess is the word. Yeah. I ended up changing it a little bit towards the end, just because this isn't a server, and I don't want to cause too much lag with this machine, because it's the amount of entities it like spawns in, or like not spawns in, but yeah, I guess spawns in, could easily cause quite a bit of lag, and that is definitely not something I want to do. And oh yeah, you can see me, that was really loud, but thankfully I did turn down the sound of hostile mobs because I figured that sound was going to be happening a lot. So yeah, just to talk a little bit about my day-to-day, I haven't really done much except record this footage. Made breakfast, made dinner. I actually had to take my dog out for a walk here in a little bit. Not a walk, but just outside to use the bathroom. That is one thing I'll say. So for the last like year or almost 2 years, we lived in a house that had like a backyard that the dog had access to. So now we actually have to take her outside and like walk her to make sure she uses the bathroom and not, use the outside and not inside. That's been a bit of an adjustment for sure. To be honest, I didn't really walk her much, period, back home. Since we moved, but since we've moved, I've been walking her every day, several times a day. which I'm sure she's loving. Part of it was just my schedule at work, you know, working 2 to 10, and then I would only have 2 days off, and I don't know. I think a lot of it, I definitely could have walked her more. I just, I guess I was just being lazy, but I've noticed a lot of like the things I used to do back home that were just like, oh, I was just being lazy. I don't do that anymore since I've gotten here. I used to be really bad about doing like the dishes in the sink, and that's not an issue anymore. I do them every day. I used to be really bad about like taking out the trash and stuff like that. I think a big part of it is because we're like fully on our own, my wife and I now. Before we were living with my mother-in-law, she wasn't always home, but she was home often enough where if stuff like that didn't get done, either she would end up doing it or she would ask me to do it. And I've always been pretty good about doing stuff once asked, but doing it without being asked has always been an issue, but not so much anymore since I moved. So, you know, that's been a nice adjustment. It feels pretty good. It makes me feel not so, I wouldn't say guilty. I guess I was feeling a little bit guilty about it for a long time, but it's nice to finally be actually good at doing all those things now. Yeah, the sorting machine here, not machine, but like the sorting system, I'm not even fully sure how this works as well. I believe the sand somehow falls through the obsidian. I don't know how. My best guess is it's because they're on top of trapdoors, the minecarts, so they're not fully underneath the obsidian. They're like actually on top of the obsidian, maybe. As a matter of fact, I didn't try this, but I bet you if I tried to place the obsidian back over top of the minecarts, it wouldn't let me because the hitboxes would probably be in the way. So yeah, that's probably how it works. The hoppers are probably like inside of the block of obsidian. Because I kind of show it off later, but I don't know if you know this. This obsidian platform in the end actually reappears every time you come back into the end. It like resets. Any blocks you place on top of it as well get deleted. Thankfully, nothing you put underneath it gets deleted, just blocks on top of it. There's also a way to get an infinite obsidian, technically, because you could run in there, break the platform however many times you want. Every time you come back, it'll always be there. I guess it's just a very late game way of getting obsidian, and it probably be pretty time consuming having to go back and forth over and over and over again. But you can kind of see, you have to make sure that they're separated from each other. They can't all be sitting in one stack. So that was an annoying part of this as well, having to try to squeeze in there and like move them around. But yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point this was the actual like sorting part completed. Now you just all I need to do now is just where like the actual items go, and making sure that the droppers are always active. So yeah, this is like a little observer circuit. Basically, the observers get activated by each other, and then those activate the pistons, and then the pistons are just always active. I didn't actually know about this, and I definitely will be using it in future projects. Because I have quite a few projects where like I need like a constant circuit going into droppers to make sure they're constantly activated, like the gold farm, for example. And I didn't know you could make a clock like that out of just observers. So I will definitely be doing that at some point in the future, or not some point in the future, but like any future farms where I need a constant, dropper to being ticked. I'll be sure to do that. So yeah, in the original farm design, he just has like the blocks being dropped into a corner, and you kind of just like pick them up. I figured that's probably a bad idea because of how many entities there are, and like I mentioned earlier, I don't want there to be a ton of lag with this. I don't know if you could hear that, but there was an ambulance driving by. Anyways, I didn't want a ton of entities lagging up the server, so I ended up building like an actual like storage sorting system with like chests and stuff, but I'll show that off in the end. But at this point, the actual like tutorial is complete. Like I followed the tutorial to the very end at this point. Thankfully, it was a lot easier and a lot less time consuming than breaking it. I'll say this right now. the longest part of this whole project was just breaking the end portal frames. I don't know why it took so. Well, I know why it took so long, because it's like an exploit and it's not like guaranteed to work every time. But the one thing with this though is some of the blocks do end up sitting up at the top, and I mean it's not that big of a deal. It's usually like only a couple anyways, but yeah, make it a little more connected path. And then after the end of this time lapse, I'll give you a better look at how the farm works in the end, and show you how it works and how much it produces and whatnot, because you know it's kind of hard to see all that in the super sped up footage. It wasn't that hard to build though. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy that it didn't take too long. Okay, so now that the farm actually works, as you saw in the previous sped up footage, I'm gonna actually, well, I'll show you real quick how it works. So actually, before we do that, so the actual duping process works. The issue now is, I noticed, is the quantity of duped items, which obviously I know this is meant to like do a lot of blocks, but it's almost too much, I feel like. So in the tutorial, the guy set up a system where the blocks just kind of get pushed into a corner. That's a lot. So what I did is I went ahead and I went and I grabbed some materials to build an actual like storage system for it. You can kind of see already some of the blocks are here. This is just because I had a full inventory. But you basically come up from here, you run this way, you go down these steps here, and then you go down these steps here, and this takes you to where the actual duped blocks are, which I'm actually going to build this up as well. So yeah, as you can see, they're here. I want to make it sure that they're, instead of just sitting on the ground like that, I want to make them flow into some chests. So to do that, the first thing we got to do, we got to put one here, and then we got to put one. So yeah, this part's not included in the tutorial. This is just like what I'm doing. And we can put a chest here, and then we'll just have to make it so that it flows into from chest to chest to chest, and then we'll just keep going down for a couple. I brought a lot of chests. I'm not 100% certain I'll need even that much. I feel like I even brought a little too much, actually. So yeah, and then this will connect to this, and then it'll just kind of keep going down probably until we reach the point where we start falling into the void. So I have to actually be very careful here, because I'm not sure how far down that actually will be. Okay. How many is that so far? So that's 3 chests. So I definitely think this will make a lot of future builds a lot easier, because now I won't have to spend so much time gathering sand, and especially for the pig statue, which I know is going to take up a lot of concrete. What I'll do is, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I'll make the pig statue its own dedicated video, obviously. I'm not sure when. This is a big step towards actually doing that project, was making this machine here. I think this should probably be enough chest at this point, I think. So now I gotta go back, and I forgot to bring ladders, so I gotta go get some ladders, but for now I'll just build my way out with some blocks and then come back with ladders. So yeah, real quick, I will I'll go grab some ladders, and then I'll come right back to this spot over here. So I forgot to hit the record button, but basically all I did is I just came down here and I put some ladders to be able to access the all of the chests for this. So yeah, the items get dropped into this and then flow into that, into this chest here, and then they should flow down into the storage system here. And then real quick, just to show you guys, well, first of all, I need to go get some more soul torches. More soul torches? It's not like I had them before. I need to get some soul torches to kind of mark the direction of, or not mark, but like show people how to access the area down there where you grab the dupe blocks from. But I'm going to go through the end portal to show you this real quick. So yeah, you come into here, and now I have a very long thing of sign. Thinking about this, I might actually write a book and then leave it in like a lectern right here. Yeah, I think because that'll be easier to read, actually. I know I typed all this out for no reason, but I mean, it didn't take me that long. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to put a sign. So I'm going to put the lectern here. So I'm going to put the sign instructions on how to use in book. Please replace. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump and I'm going to go get some soul torches, a lectern, and a book and quill. So I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can clearly see, I have the lectern, the book and quill, as well as the soul torches. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually write some detailed instructions real quick on how to do this, and I'm going to speed this up because it's probably going to take me a minute to type this out. So I will see you when this is done. Okay, so now that the instructions are complete, I'm going to go ahead and leave a couple of these pages open for just a couple of seconds in case if you want to read through them. I was pretty like precise about it just because I don't want this farm to like, break or cause any lag. Because if you noticed in the building portion, it dupes a lot of blocks, like a lot. So now that I've done all this, for starters, real quick, I'm going to make sure my spawn point is here. And then I'm going to jump into the end, and I'm going to make a little trail of torches towards the sorting area. And then I'm going to actually show you guys how the duper actually works. I'm going to show you guys how the duper works. Sorry, I stopped talking because I figured the portal was probably really loud. Okay, so nice little pathway of soul torches. I'm hoping that should be fine. Yeah, I think. All right, so, oh, I'm going the wrong way to get into the end portal. All right. All right, so for starters, I don't want to dupe any more sand. I don't know if you guys saw in the sped up footage, but I have a lot of sand now. So I probably won't need to dupe any of this, but I did make some pink concrete just to show you guys how it works. You put the dupe blocks up here, not the duped blocks, but the blocks you want to dupe. You put them up here. You come down here, you flip that lever, and so that starts the farm. At least that side. Flip this one to start the other side. So now you've got it duplicating. So what you want to do is you want to wait just a couple minutes, just leave it running, let it, generate some blocks, kind of just sit here. And I'll speed up the footage a little bit now. Okay, so I think it's probably been running for long enough at this point. So to turn it off, you simply flip the levers the opposite direction. And now you come back up, and I do need to put a little better way to access it. I think I'm also going to fill in this gap as well, but I'm probably not going to include that in this video. I'll probably just do that off camera just to make it easier to like navigate it. So yeah, you simply clear out all the blocks here, because when the blocks are there, it actually prevents you from using the portal, so you have to just make sure to do that. So break these blocks here, you go into the portal, you pick up, sorry, the water was really loud, so I lowered the volume. So you pick up any blocks that are sitting around up here, which can sometimes be a lot, but as you can see, not that many. So then you come up here, you follow the torches like the book says, and then it takes you down this direction to these stairs here, which then leads you down to these stairs over here. And now, if I built this correctly, it doesn't seem like I did. Either that or they're already siphoning down to the bottom. They are. Okay, cool. So you open up this bottom chest, and this bottom chest is actually where you access all of your duped items. It can take a while for all of them to siphon through, as you can see. which is why you don't want to leave it on for too long, because then you get an issue with this where there's just too many. It's basically like overflowing the blocks here. We can actually put another chest here to make this, because I'm sure, let me check, is this chest like, well, the chest isn't full, so it's literally just because of the amount of items is just like overwhelming because the hopper can only do so many items at once. So that'll slowly siphon into these chests here. It'll fill up these chests, and it'll all kind of empty out into this bottom one. But as you can see, I have probably enough concrete powder at this point to actually do the pig statue. So that's perfect for what I was trying to do with it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and he looked really weird. He looked like squished for a second. I'm just gonna probably end this part here. I'm gonna go fix around, like make the portal look good and maybe show that off at the end, and then I'll do a little outro sequence probably over back at my base instead of, you know, out in here in the middle of the void. So I will see you then. Okay, so yeah, this is the quote-unquote finished product. As you can see, it's running at the moment. I'll turn it off. I marked where the leathers are with glowstone here, and I kind of covered up this pit down here at the bottom. But yeah, the sand duper the gravity block duper is officially complete. Doesn't look that aesthetically pleasing, but I mean it functions super well, so I'd take that as a win. But as you can see, you can still jump into the portal there normally. Yeah. So that is this project complete, and I will see you guys back at my little build, my home area, where I will do a quick outro. So yeah, that's the end of this episode. Sorry that I wasn't able to upload yesterday. This project just took me 2 days to complete. I'm really proud of what I've managed to accomplish so far in this world, and I really think the love garden looks pretty nice there. I do think I'm going to be expanding more out this way. I want to build like a horse stable, stuff like that. And I mentioned before, I want to make a railway around my base. I just have so many ideas for this world. So, I mean, I'm really excited to show you guys all this stuff and like build it, you know, a lot like while recording and stuff. And there's a spider down there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like, comment, and if you really like this content, you want to see more of it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon and get notified when new episodes of this series are out. I'm going to be signing off here. I will catch you guys in the next one and see you later. All right, bye.